Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bear Chats. My name is Scott Credici, social media specialist here at Brown University. Happy to be with you once again today. And we're also happy to be joined by the head football coach here at Brown University, James Perry. Coach Perry, how are you today?
Doing great. Thanks, Scott.
Well, it's great to see you, Coach. Kind of strange not to have spring football this year, huh? I mean, it's just been such a crazy time that we've all been living through, and I'm wondering how you have been dealing with these unique circumstances.
Yeah, it was unique to say the least. First I was really proud of the kids and the administration. When we sent them home, that was like as stressful a level as you can have as a coach, making sure your kids get home safely, making sure everyone's all right. And the school support, administrative support was awesome. So we got everybody home safely, and the whole team is doing great at home. And we actually started, Scott, these virtual practices where we would teach them and kind of install the spring over this type of medium, just like we would in a regular spring ball. So we had 12 of those, like we'd have 12 in-person practices, and the kids were incredible. They really did a great job with it.
You know, it's funny, I've talked to you in the past about this, and you are a very progressive person in terms of being up with the times. I remember when you took over a year ago, you did away with pretty much all paper. Everything was Google Docs, online. So talking to you off the air, and now you can share your comments on the air, this hasn't been a huge adjustment for you and your staff, has it? The virtual meetings, things of that nature, you feel like, you know, you can do just about everything you could do in the office the way you're doing it right now.
Yeah, and we're going to implement a lot of these strategies moving forward for years to come. You know, we'll use them this summer, we'll use them in the fall. And that's from everything how we communicate as coaches to how we communicate to our players. And importantly, because it's so prevalent right now, how we communicate with recruits. So, yeah, I mean, I think we were always, everything was online, everything was paperless for a number of years now. But even how we communicate and teach, we're going to continue. When we go back to in-person learning, this is going to be a component of what we do. And when we go back to recruiting in person, on the road, those things, this is going to be a major component of how we recruit as well.
Well, since you bring up recruiting, Coach, you just had your first official full recruiting class, and it was announced over the past couple of weeks. Just give me your thoughts on the incoming student athletes that'll be joining your program this fall.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the staff. They did a terrific job, and the support we got from the administration allowed us to have what I think is one of the strongest recruiting classes I've been involved with. And that includes my time as an assistant here, 7 years at Princeton. So I'm really happy with the kids, and I think they're going to bring a lot to the school. Kind of in a weird way, Scott, we, for the second year in a row, will also have 32 new players. Last year, we had 31 incoming freshmen and a transfer. And this year, it's the same. It's 31 incoming freshmen and a transfer. So, no, I think they're going to really bolster the depth of our team, which is critical. And I think they're going to add a lot to the school.
James, your first year as head coach was just so exciting, and I'm speaking for myself personally, but I think all Brown football fans, you know, you open the season with that thrilling last-second victory at Bryant, the win at Columbia, everybody remembers, but I also remember the great games against Penn, Cornell, and Dartmouth at the end of the season. Just kind of take us back to your first year as head coach. Look, I know you're James Perry. You want to go 10-0, but how did you feel it went your first year as head coach here at Brown?
Yeah, and you know, we will, Scott, actually, you know, we're going to win. And I think when you lay the foundation of winning, the best way to do it is to see improvement. For us, improvement took a lot of different forms this fall. Some of it just statistically, we gave up a lot less points in the second half of the season. We started to do a better job scoring the football in the second half of the season. So you could see it. You know, we lost some close games, 3 of them in the back half against very good football teams. But the improvement was very, very real. And for me, I'll always be grateful to that group of seniors. They just had their virtual commencement a few days ago, and we actually did like a virtual barbecue. And I'll remember that group because they worked hard to make us better. And we're in light years a better situation because of them as we enter into next fall.
Coach, you made one thing very clear in your first season as head coach, that you are not afraid to go for it on fourth down. And I think for fans of Brown football, they probably want to know, is it more of a statistical based approach, or is it a gut feeling, or a combination of the two?
Yeah, so and this time of year, analytics drives a lot of our decisions. And I know there's mixed results on what analytics means and what people think about when you say that terms, but we believe in it as a program. It drives a lot of our decisions, including our fourth down decisions. And sometimes my answer when people ask about it, I say, well, it's not going anywhere. We're going to continue to go for it. So you just kind of got to recalibrate your expectation because, we're going to go for it a lot. We did last year. Next year, we'll do the same. Sometimes when you have a lead, the analytics dictate that you don't go for it quite as much. But yeah, that's not going anywhere, Scott.
Coach, you talked about adapting to these new times and Zooming with your coaches and your student athletes. And something you've also done during these last couple of months has set up Zoom meetings with Brown football alumni. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been really fun. And, what I learned early on was the smaller the setting, the more engaged people are. And we went 2 straight weeks. We did one every night, so 10 of them. And when you get you get around 10 guys or even a little less, it's a ton of fun. And it's not as fun as going to the golf course and on Fisher's Island, or going up to Boston and having a cocktail hour. And we'll do those things again. But I think we learned that it was a great way to engage them. And importantly for me, when I did engage the alums, and when I will moving forward, I love showing them videos of how our players are embracing this time. And our guys are working extremely hard preparing for the fall, whether that's technique videos in their living room, or whether it's body squats and push-ups and sit-ups. And I know the alums loved seeing that. So I would make sure I'd always show them just how hard our guys are working right now.
Coach, I know how appreciative you were when you took over of the upgraded facilities, the new locker room, the new training room, the new football offices. How much, in your opinion, does that help from a recruiting standpoint? And then one other question to add to that, I know there's been some rumors about possibly putting field turf down at Brown Stadium. Is that something that you think we'll see at some point in the future?
Yeah, I mean, those facilities, we have the best places to teach our kids in the league, whether that's the Barrelson practice fields or the Hazleton locker room, or, Boston team room. I mean, we have amazing facilities to teach in. It's a great recruiting advantage. And I think actually moving forward, it's a really powerful way to be a leader on how we work and coach these kids this fall. We have a great space. We have a space that's very adaptable to the circumstances we'll be dealing with in the fall. So it's kind of the gift that keeps giving, because it's a powerful way to, deal and teach these kids. And I know I'm super grateful for it. And when it comes to the stadium, and you talk about the historic nature of Brown Stadium, we're always looking for better ways to make it modern and fast and new. So certainly turf would go hand in hand with that.
Last question for you, Coach. And again, thank you for joining us. So how are you and your staff preparing for this fall? Are you hoping and assuming that it's business as usual? Are you making contingency plans in case things change? What are your thoughts moving forward?
Well, it's interesting. We're always leaders in this league, and how we best educate our kids, and as a school, how we educate our kids and how we take care of our kids. So I look forward to taking care of our kids and making sure that they're healthy and safe, and making sure that their football environment is the best it can be. We've always been on the forefront of how to do that, the league. I think a lot of people will actually in the end learn how best to coach their kids from what the Ivy League does. So I look forward to doing that, being a leader in that way, and watching the league be a leader in that way, and getting these kids back on campus. And whatever the protocols are, I know that whether it's Brown coaches, not just football, Ivy League coaches, the protocols that will keep our kids safe, we'll implement them. And we'll be at the forefront of doing that.
James, thanks so much for joining us today on Bear Chats. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, that's the head football coach at Brown University, James Perry, with us on this week's edition of Bear Chats.